On your marks.
Yeah, bloody hell. So underway now in this very, very stacked and good field. Oh, God, they're having a look around, seeing who's who in the zoo here. That means it's going to be a bit of championship racing. But Charles Barrett and Logan Tickle, they're the ones taking out early. Gibson getting up into the running nicely. Padgham on the rails. Neefling not too far behind. Bale sitting in the gap there as well with James Cruz. Gilbert to the outside with Mornane. So I won't say it's slow and I won't say it's quick, but it is Tickle, the one who surges forward just ahead of Barrett, who's on the rails. There might be Johnson in next order there. Neefling up early. Bale to the outside, also Kybird. Going through the 400, approximately 73 seconds. So just over 15-minute mark or 15-minute schedule. As we see Tickle in the South Bendigo colours, the red and white, leading the way. So Barrett having a look around, having a think who's here, what's he got to do. Certainly one of the favourites of this race. Saw a big run from Barrett. Your schools. Cruz moving into third, so an Essendon sandwich there for Tickle in the middle. So Johnson, his teammate Chandler now, he's made a big move to come from the rear of the field up. So Charlie Chandler sitting there in fifth position, just to the outside of his teammate there in Johnson. Neefling, one of the younger competitors, sitting next. Then Bale from Athletics Southwest. Once again, we welcome our viewers from Warrnambool and the Southwest area. Padgham making a bit of a move to the outside, coming alongside Neefling. So through the 800, 224, 25, so that's nice, even pacing. This is what we want to see from these very talented young men. So Cruz still sitting in that third position, and the pace is actually on. This pace is definitely on. Barrett not mucking around here at all. And I think he's trying to bury as many of the opposition as possible. There's been a big surge go on as they approach the 1 kilometre mark. And it's Barrett trying to put to the sword the opposition nice and early in this 5 kilometre event. So Cruz, his teammate, he's up for the challenge and edging into the front. I wonder if there's a bit of team tactics going on here as they hit the 1K, and they are right on the 3:02 mark. So on tinkering around the 15 minutes schedule at the moment. So Kybird just to the outside there of Gilbert, trying to weave his way through that pack as Neefling starts to come back through. Mornane just at the front of them, Pizzachiro just at the rear of that pack. And also the young man from Glen Huntley, which is Gray. So Cruz, now Tickle goes for it. This is very interesting. They are not mucking around here at all. 3:36 through the 1200, so still sitting right on that 15 minutes thereabouts. So Padgham now got a bit of a gap on Bale. Bale's on his own. I think Gibson might be the chaser there with Mornane next to him and Gilbert in their slipstream. But Tickle now leads it. This is what we want to see. Everyone's having their little go out front, and that is keeping this pace nice and honest. We are seeing a very, very good under-20 championship here this evening at Lakeside Stadium. Adverse conditions, quite blustery still, but this isn't stopping the spirit of these really talented young men. Chandler looking good in fourth. Johnson to the inside, then Padgham. Bale's taking Mornane with him. Gilbert makes a good move to come alongside Gibson. Gaps are forming. Tickle, Barrett now out by about 5 metres. Cruz, Chandler, Johnson, Padgham. Gap of 10 back to Mornane and Bale. Gilbert just behind them with Gibson and Kybird. Maladay in next position in the Box Hill colours. So the pace still very solid. Now it looks like it's Barrett's turn. This is what we want to see. They are changing it round. Johnson leading the pack, or the chasers there with Padgham, Chandler, Cruz. Then it's Mornane and Gilbert. 5:22, approaching the 2 kilometre mark. So Jack Waters just off the back of Maladay, then Neathling, Pisa Chiero, also from Williamstown there, Angus Thomas. The leaders, 1 and 2, now out by about 15 metres. Johnson chasing. Padgham. Then Chandler. Another gap then to Cruz. Mornane's bringing Gilbert and also Bale up with him as they go through the 2K. 5:58. We're under 15-minute schedule now. So 5:58 through the 2K mark for both Barrett and also Tickle. Johnson looking strong. Padgham's one to be reckoned with as well. He's a tough runner, Jaden Padgham from the Bendigo region. But he's in with the Eureka boys now. So the Ballarat boys surrounding him as they come down to get 7 laps to go. And Tickle takes the lead. This is great racing. The boys honestly are working well together. Barrett has got the most magnificent kick, so if I was Tickle, I'd be wanting to get rid of that kick or run it out of him early, but it looks like there seems to be some teamwork out front, and they are really making this a great race here this evening. A lot of interest now in that chase pack because there's only 3 medals on offer. Johnson, Padgham, Chandler, Cruz, Mornane, Gilbert, Bale, Gibson and Kybird locked together. Maladay looking strong. Then Waters, Neathling, Thomas, Gray, Pisa Chiero. So approaching halfway, 2,400 down. The chase pack still looking solid. That group of 3 working well together. Cruz now coming back and Mornane's got him in his sights. So hit the halfway mark, approximately 7:28. So still right on that 15-minute schedule. Tickle. Barrett working together. Going to see both of these young men in the De Castella 3,000 metres here at the Zatopek on December 2, and they will be players in that field. Johnson, Padgham, Chandler, Mornane. Bale looking strong as he goes with Mornane. Gibson also looking the goods. Maladay just going past Kybird. Waters on his own. Neathling, Thomas, Pisa Chiero and Gray. Less than 100 metres still separating the whole field. We're well into the second half now. So a very talented under-20 field, this one. As they come around 8:20 and they approach the 3 kilometre mark. So a bit of a gap now forming between the second group and the third group, and I think the gap between 1 and 2 and 3 is now starting to stretch. So Tickle's been leading for a couple of laps. Now I reckon it's Barrett's turn. So Barrett coming to the outside, edging forward. Tickle will now just tuck in with him as they approach the 3 kilometre mark. So this is working beautifully. They come through in 58. So still right on that target. Tickle looking maybe the stronger at this stage. Might have to take the lead again as he goes wide on the bend. Johnson, Padgham and Chandler still together. Chandler goes wide. Mornane, Bale and Maladay's looking good. Then it's Gibson, also Gilbert, Kybird, Cruz, Waters. Then Neathling, Thomas, Gray and Pisa Chiero all working well together. And that's what we're seeing. A real hallmark of this event tonight as we see Chandler moving up nicely, Padgham now being asked the question in the chase group. So currently the boys from Eureka are in 3, 4 and 6 position. But it's South Bendigo leading the way, courtesy of Tickle. Barrett just behind him. So Barrett did take the lead coming into that last lap. But Tickle, you could just sense, had more go in him and decided he would just start to surge forward. So he's looking strong. So So big run from Tickle last week at Milers Club, securing that spot in the De Castella 3,000 metres as they come through, 3,400. Now it's Chandler's turn out front of the chasers. In the bronze medal position at the moment, Johnson with him, Padgham trying to hang on as Mornane takes through both Bale and Maladay. Gibson just fading back. Gilbert finding it tough now as we get into that second half. Kybird. This chase, the smaller characters at the back, they're working really well together. Niefling driving forward and taking them with him. So out front, it's still Tickle. You can't drop Barrett, and as I said, you don't want to have Barrett around you with a 200-metre sprint. As we're seeing Padgham just dropping back off the two Eureka boys, with Chandler doing a lot of the damage out front there. Johnson still with him. So looks like Maladay's now making a bit of a move alongside Mornane. Bale content to just sit on the rails. Into the home straight once again. Tickle leads. The battle for the bronze is really starting to build here. The two Eureka boys. I'm not sure if either of them can run down the front two here because they are looking so good, and based on 3K form, they're certainly the two form runners. But Chandler taking Johnson with him. Padgham, have to be careful because you've got Maladay, Bale and Mornane all starting to move up that field. Then it's Gibson, Gilbert, Cruz, Kybird, joined by Niefling. Waters, Gray to the outside. Thomas on the inside. Pizzacchiro just hanging on for dear life. And out the front though, no change. 4 kilometres, 11:57 at the 4 kilometre mark. We are 1 kilometre out, and I think this is going to be one hell of a kick down over the last 2.5 laps here at Lakeside this evening. So no change out front. Good to see the crowd on the home straight really getting into this competition because this is one hell of a great race. Looks like Chandler's just getting ahead of Johnson now. So Chandler trying to run his way onto this podium. But those first two spots, that Victorian Championship, that Laurel Reef number, it's up for grabs here between these two young men. And that is Tickle and Barrett still together. Tickle doing the majority of the leading. Chandler looking smooth, looking super smooth 2 laps out. Johnson in next position. Maladay and Bale moving up on Padgham. Mornane's been asked the question. But out front, no change. Yes, there is a change. Barrett takes the lead. So Charles Barrett leads. Logan Tickle now, he has to respond. This is where it really is going to start to build. 600 metres out. As I said, you don't want Barrett around you if it gets down to a kick down. But Logan Tickle has a big heart, and the young man from Bendigo isn't going to give in easily. Barrett's gone. He's gone quite early. Chandler in next position. Johnson being hunted by Maladay and also Bale. Padgham in a beautiful position there. He's been able to tack onto the back of Bale. Into the home straight now. We're going to hear the bell. Charles Barrett is going to be the first one to go past. Logan Tickle not giving up. He's still got a beautiful stride and moving nicely. But it's just that momentum that Barrett's got 1 lap out. 400 between him and that Victorian Championship. Digging deep as Logan Tickle. Let's go for time now, Logan. Chandler coming home strong. Can he start to breach that gap? But it's a big gap out to Tickle. He's certainly in a good prime position to hit the podium though, and they are really starting to extend the... Look at Barrett, he is out by 40 metres. So Barrett just charging home now. As I said, that last 1K was going to be a slick one, and it's Charles Barrett, 200 out. Not putting Logan Tickle down at all because he's had a brilliant run here, did so much of the leading. Charles Chambers looking fantastic down the... Chandler looking good down the back straight. There's all the boys on the last lap now, but it will be the young man from Athletics Essendon, Charles Barrett. Time check, 14:30. So we're going to have a faster time than last year in rough conditions here at Lakeside. Let's get behind the young man. Charles Barrett, Athletics Essendon. He is going to take victory here. He's happy. Great run there. And Barrett takes it, 14:42. Let's get behind Tickle and also Chandler. Big runs from these two young men, both of the regional areas. Bendigo and Ballarat, and it's Logan Tickle. He'll take the silver, 14:54, and Chandler through under the 15-minute mark. Big finish here from Maladay. He's got Bale right with him. They're going to have to settle for the 4th and 5th positions. 15.06 there for Bale. Johnson did a lot of hard work early. He'll come through for the next position. Then Mornane, another one of our young men from the Eureka Club. Big finish here from Gray and also Gibson. They'll come over the top at Padgham. Gray in next position, 15.23. Oh boy, I think Coach Matthews will be happy with that one. Gilbert in next slot. Then Neathling, one of the younger competitors, 15.30. Big finish there from Waters. Then Cruz. Then Thomas. Kai Bird in next position. And well done to Pisa Teixeira. Good run from him. He'll stop the clock around 15.45. And that's our men's under 20, 5,000 metres. Nice victory, Charles Barrett.